All right, individual prayer partners. So, in this video, we are going to look at how you, as an individual prayer partner in your congregation's prayer ministry team, access the prayer database of your church's prayer ministry. And so, again, the top two buttons tell you everything that you need to know about the prayers of the church. The middle two buttons tell you everything you need to know about who's doing the praying in your church. And the bottom three buttons are just very helpful, important buttons. That's your prayer event calendar, that's your church's information. This is where you update your information. We covered that in the first video. And again, one of the most important features of this app is this little print button up here in the upper right hand corner, because you'll be able to print practically every screenshot you see here in the prayer app. So let's start by clicking on the Add See Prayers of the Church button here. And this is a very important screen here. And I want you to sort of understand the layout of this screen. The upper half of the screen shows you all the prayers of the church. So button number one gets you into all the public prayers of the church. If you want to add a public prayer of the church, and by public we mean to your church, to your church's prayer database. So this would be an example like sort of a prayer that you'd have on Sunday morning in church. You use button number two. If you want to add a prayer request that needs to be confidential in nature, just for the pastor, that's button number three. Okay, so real simple. There's just three buttons there. You want to see all the public prayers of the church. That's button number one. You want to add a public prayer. That's button number two. You want to add a confidential prayer. It just goes to pastor. That's button number three. And we're going to look at these buttons here in just a second. Then the bottom half of the screen here is very important for you. What this app does for you is it calls out for you the people that you have volunteered to pray and care for. Okay, and then there's a filter here that allows you to see the members that you've agreed to pray and care for, the visitors you've agreed to pray and care for, the people from the community you've agreed to pray and care for, and others. And so you want to see any one of the prayer requests that you're agreed to pray and care for in any one of those categories. You just click on the respective button and it'll get you into that database. There's also a keyword search feature here on this screen I want to draw your attention to. You get older like me and you can't remember everything, so it's just helpful to have this. You try to remember who you're praying for that has cancer or is in need of employment or whatever. You just type in your keyword, cancer, employment, whatever it is, hit the search button right here. It's a database driven system. It's going to grind through it. It's going to pull up all those examples for you. If you need to use other keywords, you can type in other keywords. Another feature of the app is the export button right here. It's very nice. It allows you to export all the data in three different formats. The most popular one is Excel. That's the top one here. And it's nice to be able to export the information and have a copy on your computer, because then you can take it with you wherever you are, whether there's Wi-Fi or not. And it's always good to have a backup. So you're able to back up your own information off the database with that. This screen here is a very important screen to understand. So it's all these columns can be sorted alphabetically. And so there's only two names in this column, so you really don't need to do that. But as you get more and more prayer requests in, you have that option to do that. It's a pretty simple layout. You have the name of the person we're praying for, their concern or celebration, the date that it was entered, phone number. So if you're working off your smartphone, a mobile device, you can call right off of it. If they have an email address, whatever sort of device you're working off of, you can email. If they've uploaded a picture, or maybe you've helped upload a picture for them, that'll be there. Here's the caregivers notes, and here's the connectivity. So the caregivers notes, these are all the people who are on the prayer care team that are following up with this prayer request and their notes. So this way, this is just one of the real gems of the app, is that then you can see 24/7 what's being done to care for somebody. And that is just really, really helpful, because somebody in the church goes in the hospital, people want to know. Instead of trying to follow up with 100 different church members, you type in the information once and it's there, and it's there 24/7, and it can be updated 24/7. So it's just really nice. It can be updated by everybody who's on that prayer care team. So it just helps everybody in the church know what's going on in real time. The connectivity is very important also. These are going to be things that are going to help us know more about the people we're praying for and caring for. So it's going to be questions like, uh, is Do we know anything about their pets? They have pets. They have hobbies. Spouse, children, those sort of things. Those are things that help the prayer care team and the people in the church get to know the people we're praying for better. So, for example, if we want to see the caregiver notes for Beatrice, you can just click on the button right here, and then here are the people who are following up with her. And so the prayer coordinator, elder, or deacon, their notes go only to the pastor. If there's a board or ministry, that would be right there. Their notes, small group, their notes, and individual prayer partner, their notes. So you're an individual prayer partner. You've gone to visit this person. You want to update your notes for this person. You click on this, and so your update today is so it's 2016 to uh, 10, and you are noting that you visited and prayed, uh, looking forward to coming back next week. Whatever your prayer care notes are, hit submit, and that's it. And so then it's in there. The people in the church, the people on the prayer ministry team can access this information 24/7. It is accurate. It's not been repeated from one person to another person to another person 30 different times, coming up with 30 different variations of it. So that's just really helpful. One of the features, if you want to go back just a screen, you just click on up there. If you want to get back to the home button, just click on there. So add see prayers of the church, and another feature that's on this page is you can format to how many records you want to view per page. That's up to you. And then the connectivity, you click on that. And so then you see here they have their name, this information, connections to our members, occupations, hobbies, interests, spouse, children, pets. Maybe the pastor has some pastoral care guidance, maybe not. Pastor puts that in there. If you want to update, there's something you want to update, you can update. So one of the things you can do is you can help them load up a picture if they would like that, and that's nice because then people can see who it is that they're praying for, and if they're following up with a visit, it just helps them to know them. It helps with fellowship within the body of Christ, and so you are going to be a real blessing to your church in a lot of ways in this role. If you have any notes here, connections to our members, occupations, hobbies, spouse, children, pets, and you don't have to fill in all these things here, but if there's something that they would like to have shared that would be helpful for people to know who they are and be able to connect with them, you can do that. So just click your back button there, and there's all of that, and click back again, and we're back to this screen. Okay, and so then if you want to see all the public prayers, just click on button number 1, and this is really pretty handy. So this is all the public prayers, not just the ones that you have volunteered to care for, but all the public prayers of the church, and for your church's prayer database. And so again, you have the members, visitors, community, or other. And so as individual prayer partner, you look over here on the right-hand side in the column over here, and you see we're looking at members, and you see which of the members do not have an individual prayer partner praying for them. And so here's a test one I put in here just to show you what this looks like. So you see that there's nobody signed up to pray for Jim B. Okay, and so you're like, well, let's see what this is all about. There's not an individual prayer partner signed up to pray for Jim B. So let's see what this looks like, and maybe I'll sign up as an individual prayer partner to pray for him. And so here's Jim. Don't have his phone number or email noted here. Connections to our members, hobbies or interests. Here are the people who have signed up to help as elder or deacon, board or ministry. They don't have any updates in yet. As we said, there's no individual prayer partner, so there's no update there. And so you think to yourself, well, maybe I could be the one who would do this. So you pray about it. So you look here, you click on the drop down menu and you find your name here, Edward Kaler. Click on that, hit submit, and then your name goes into the database as being an individual prayer partner who's going to be following up. And so here's Jim, and there you are. So now everybody can see that you are also prayer partner. For Jim, and you can do that with the members, people who are visitors, people from the community, or others. And so then, if you go back a screen here, remember there's the view that shows the people that you're praying for and serving. And so then if you refresh that and you see that there is Jim is there, you'd agreed to be his individual prayer partner. And so every time you log in, it will pull Jim's record up for you, and you'll see that you'll be reminded that you are praying for Jim. And so there's that. So this is the database of the prayers. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I always tell people it's like a flat-headed screwdriver. This is just a real simple app. It's about getting prayers into the church's prayer database, helping the communication process between the people who are on the prayer team and the people in the congregation, and serving these people. So one of the neat features when it comes to the prayers of the church is you have the database with the prayers of the church, but then another neat feature is the Google Map feature. So you click on this, and I'm going to show you an actual example. So in Newark, in the area that I'm working with our church in Newark, the zip code there is 07104. Click on search, and our congregation in Newark is a West African congregation, wonderful people, surrounded by Spanish speaking people. And so how do you connect? So one of the ways that we connect is through prayer. And so last summer we had a prayer ministry team, mission team come out, and we went prayer walking in the community, and everybody had the app downloaded, and went through the neighborhood, asked people how we could pray for them. 150 households shared prayer requests. When we loaded them up into the database, we loaded them all in as people from the community, because that was our level of connection with them. And so I'm using this app right now in Newark for outreach and for planting of community Bible studies. You could use it for planting a congregation, planting a house church, a missional community, whatever it is you're trying to do. It's a very functional app. You can use it in that way. So this is the way I'm using it. So then on Thursdays, my goal is to be in Newark and to follow up with these prayer requests. I'm a network supported missionary, and so I work with this congregation in Newark. I work with other congregations in our district in New Jersey, and then also outside of the state. But I have a strong personal commitment to this congregation in Newark. And so if you notice, there's only 67 records now showing. And so my goal is to actually get it down to 0, because what I want to do is I want to make sure we're following up with prayer and care for everybody. And then when we're doing that, I always let people know that we're starting community Bible studies. Ask them if that's something that would be of interest to them. If they say yes, then I change their rating to being a visitor. And I'll show you that map in just a little bit. So it's really pretty neat, because with this on your smartphone, as you're walking along, you go and you come up to a house, you click on the pin, and there's the person's name, there's their prayer request, and it's just great. You're standing right there, so you don't need directions, but if you're coming in from out of the area, you're going out from the church out to somebody in the community, and you don't know exactly how to get to their house, yeah, this is Google Maps. You just click on directions, it'll direct you there. That's pretty handy. It's Google Maps, so if you want to see the satellite view, you can do that. Of course, if you're staying there in person, you really don't need that. You can see for yourself what it is. And so this is really neat. When we use this to do the outreach, I told our pastor there, I said, you're going to see something really neat. And he said, what's that? I said, in real time, you're going to see the work of the prayer team. And it's really cool because this populates in real time. And so you could see the work of the prayer outreach teams as they're walking down these streets collecting prayer requests. Just the map was just alive, just popping with all these pins. As I said, there's 150 of them originally. And then, as I also mentioned, so following up with the prayer requests, then I invite people to come to community Bible study. And by God's grace, there are 13 households that have said yes, they would like to participate in the community Bible study. And so it was very nice for me in following up with people to have this sort of information, because I just go right up to the front door, ring the doorbell. So this is the very first household that I called on. And following up, I went up there, rang the doorbell, and I'm looking at my screen, and I see the prayer requests here. And so I ring the doorbell, and the man answers the door, and I introduce myself. Hi, my name's Pastor Jim, and we had a youth prayer team come through and ask for prayer requests, and there's a prayer request shared here for somebody suffering from Parkinson's disease. And I'll never forget, Abba is the man's name. He said yes. He said, that's my wife. Would you like to come in and meet her? I said absolutely. And so he came inside, and I'll never forget walking into their house. And so you walk into the family room. To the left of that's a little dining room, and then to the left of that's another room. And I can see his wife is laid out on this bed. And he goes over to her and he says, Nancy, Nancy, the church that came and prayed with us, the pastor's here, come and meet him. And it was just really amazing. It took probably 10, 15 minutes for Abba to get his wife up, up, and then through the dining room and into the family room and sitting down on the couch. And it was amazing to watch the relationship. Whenever I go there, it's amazing to watch the relationship between the husband and the wife. They've been married for 60 years now, and they were married in Cuba. They came over here during the crisis, and as they're sitting there, you could see what it means till death do us part. The love of this husband for his wife, and vice versa. As we're sitting there talking, he was constantly wiping her mouth and talking into her ear to make sure she could hear what was being said and understood what was going on. And it was just a wonderful first visit, and they're so thankful that the church came to them. Obviously, with a wife who has Parkinson's disease, getting to church on Sunday morning is just not really an easy thing to do. And they're so thankful that the church came to them. And so these 13 households here are households that this church now has a connection with in their own community that they did not have before reaching out with prayer, and then using this app to help communicate what's being done, and invite the church prayer team and church ministries to serve and support these people. And so we just praise God for this, because it's God who prepares the hearts, it's God who opens the door, it's to God be the glory. So just want to share that with you. And again, you can do this with members, visitors, community, or others. You can change their ratings, from some point some of these people will become members by God's grace, and so then we'll see that progression happen. So when it comes to the prayers of the church, these are the two buttons that you use. You're not going to break the app. Get in there, play around with it, have fun with it, and just see what all the different things you can do with it. In our next video, we're going to look at the prayer ministry team and your role as an individual prayer partner in the prayer ministry team, and we're going to look at these two buttons.